Once you join, we'll go ahead and start on our backs. So I can hear the ping when someone joins. But for the recording, all of the, everyone else's video is on. So once you come into the room, just double check that your video and your mic are on mute. You can adjust that at the bottom. It's great to have everyone coming and joining. Thank you. Just go ahead and shift to the mute button on your screen, and that will put my screen back on.
I'm muted.
Okay, let me double check. Hi. Yeah. There we go. All right. Oh, hey. Twice in one day. Okay, you're all set. Yep, you're muted. Nice. We should have a couple more people come. But so there's going to be some similar stuff to what we did this morning, but not all the same. Okay. There we go. Thanks. So we'll just wait another couple of minutes and see if anyone else joins. And I'm going to do this recording for Sacred Ally as well. So hey everyone at Sacred Ally. A little bit different practice from me today. We're going to do some more movement and then meditation. So I'm just turning my volume down. And without the props, you'll go ahead and lay on your backs. And once you're down, just go ahead and shuffle the hips left and right. And we'll heel toe the feet as wide as the mat, allow the knees to drop together, and just relax the spine. So you might want to lift the head and shuffle the shoulders up a little bit, growing a little bit taller and longer along the mat. And then we'll reach the arms above the head and let both knees come off to the right, planting the outside of the right foot and the inside of the left foot, hovering the knees, and then braceleting or capturing the left wrist with the right hand will start to come off to the side a little bit. So you can tuck the tailbone back and forth. Let the shoulders be nice and heavy. Maybe look off to the right, so you're getting a stretch all along the left side. Go ahead and bring the knees back to center. Bring the arms down to either side of the sideways. Let the knees come to touch. Maybe shuffle the hips, and then we'll start on the second side. Feet off to the left, raising the arms above the head. And then sliding slightly off to the left, braceleting or capturing the right wrist with the left hand. staying for a couple of breaths. Rolling back to center. Arms down to either side of the side waist. And then we'll draw the legs up to their tabletop position. Flex the feet and tuck the tailbone. Reach the arms towards the ceiling. And we'll tap opposite heel and thumb. So keeping your legs at a 90-degree angle. Tap and lift, and you'll feel the low back start to want to come up a little bit. Press down, so tucking the tailbone under, pressing into the sacrum so the spine stays flat on the mat. Keep going. Once more each side. And then we'll keep the legs at their tabletop position. Draw the arms to a cactus shape and let both knees drop off to the left for a little bit deeper twist. You can look left and right or nod the head. And using the core, squeeze the inner thighs together as you lift both legs and drop off to the right. And looking left and right, nodding the head. Feeling that stretch all along, even in the armpit of the left arm. And then we'll squeeze the inner thighs together, come back to center. We're gonna hug the knees into the chest. Big inhale, and on your exhale, curl up, nose up to the knees, inhale, roll down. Exhale, curl up, inhale, down. Going for at least 10. Three more. And then we're going to keep rolling the nose up to the knees, but just hold on to the right leg. Extend, maybe even to hover the left leg. Curl up, roll down. Switch sides. Left knee in, right leg extends. Back to the right side for another round. Starting to maybe get a little bit of heat happening. Switch sides again. And after this last one, hug both knees in. We'll plant the feet and let the soles of the feet together and knees come apart. Take a couple of deep breaths, realigning. Fill the belly. Another inhale and exhale. And this time we're going to assist the knees closed, heel toe the feet at least hip width distance apart. Interlace the fingers behind the skull, tuck the tailbone, roll the elbows towards one another, and on your exhale, lift through the torso. Take an inhale, exhale, lift a little bit more. So we still want to keep the length along the front side of the chest. Exhale, lift. And then inhale, go ahead and roll down. Drop the arms to either side, and we'll hug the right knee in and reach the sole of the right foot up towards the ceiling, pressing the thigh away. Getting a stretch all along the back side of the leg. Opening up across the collarbones. Feel free to draw circles at the toe in one direction or the other, but we're pressing the thigh away. Switch. Left knee in. Extend, press. Left foot comes down. Either rock and roll along the spine, come off to one side, and we'll shift to our all fours. As you move to all fours, grip at the fingertips, curl the toes under, and we're going to inhale into our cow pose. Staying with cow, stretching the abdomen down. Just start to shift your weight forward, inhale, and exhale, press back. So we're staying with that lift in the chest, sits bone spread. Pressing into the feet, pressing into the sole of the foot. This linear rocking. Once more, and then we'll flip the feet over, curl into your cat pose, and do the same thing. Just rock forward and press back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Last one. Moving to a tabletop position, step the right foot back. We're going to raise the right leg, bend the knee, and try and squeeze the heel towards the hip as you rock the knee up towards the ceiling. So very similar to scorpion dog, except we're on the left knee. We'll move back into full scorpion dog later. Evenly distribute weight between the hands and try and lift and squeeze, and then point the toe. So you get a little bit different sensation. And then we're going to come forward and drive the right knee to the back of the right wrist, moving into a pigeon pose. Tuck the left toes under and come on down. Rock the hips back and forth. And then we'll walk the torso forward and let the head drop down. You'll see that the back toes are still curled under. We're reaching the left hip forward and the right hip back, but you can always have a little bit of play here. Slide the hands back underneath the shoulders. We're going to shift back to our all fours. And take that same sequence again. Toes curled under, inhale. Into your cow, exhale, press back. Stretching the torso, warming up the hands, grip with the fingertips. Flip the feet over, tuck the tailbone under, press back and forward. Feeling the stretch of the sacrum. All fours, push into the top of the right foot as you extend and lift the left leg, and find your mini scorpion dog here. Push down into the ground and twist at the low back. And then point the toe. Continue to lift that left knee up. On your next exhale, we're coming forward, driving the left knee to the back of the left wrist, flexing, sliding the right leg back into pigeon. Feel free to rock. And then maybe come forward, letting the head hang. Sliding the hands back, press back to your all fours, and then we'll curl the toes under, lift the torso, and lift the hips, downward facing dog. Pushing the floor away, maybe soften through the knees as you lift up a little bit more. And then we'll walk the hands and feet together, forward fold on your mat. Let the head hang. Shift your weight. Maybe draw some circles of the nose in one direction, then the other. And from here, we're going to slide the hands up the legs. Great opportunity to fix your pants, which I always need to do. We're going to hook the thumbs into the hip creases and press back into a squat. So see if you can pin down the big toe ball mound, pinky toe ball mound in the heel, and let the torso kind of rest on the thighs, and let the head hang. Shift your weight to the heels a little bit more so you're starting to create more of a square. And then we'll lift the hips, forward fold. From your forward fold, capture opposite elbow and opposite hand and let the head hang. We'll sit back into that seat behind you. And then on your inhale, raise the torso up. You'll see that I have a curve in the low back. We're going to tuck the tailbone under and then reach back with the sits bones. Tuck and reach and sit. 3 more. Tuck, sit, tuck, sit. Last one. Tuck, sit. Forward fold. Taking note of which arm was on top or forward. Go the other direction, capture the opposite elbow and opposite hand, sitting back into your chair. Inhale, raise the arms up. So the face is and the head is framed, and we'll tuck and release, tuck and sit. 3, 4, last one. Fold. Let the arms just hang. Then from there, sliding the hands up the backs of the legs, we'll curl the tailbone under. Rolling all the way up to standing, go ahead, take some nice big shoulder rolls. And the other way. Inhale, reach the arms out to the side, and then we're going to cross the elbows. Left arm under the right, finding your eagle arm. Sit back into your chair. Feel the shoulder blades start to slide down the back. Sit a little bit deeper. Inhale, open the arms up. And exhale. Second side, sit back. Feel the shoulder blades slide down, reach to the crown of the head. And inhale, open. Exhale, fold. And we'll walk back out to our downward facing dog. I'm going to put some of these together. Deeply bend the right knee, allowing that left heel to sink further down. And then flexing the right foot, lift up. We'll point the toe, bring the heel to the hip, and find your scorpion dog. Continue to try and touch the heel to the glute as you press back. From here, roll forward, right knee to the back of the right wrist. Drop the left leg down. Find your pigeon pose. Forward fold. Walk the hands out, maybe tenting the fingertips and reaching. Slide the hands back. Listen here. We're going to press the floor away and step back to plank. So we'll pause in our plank here and just lift and hover the right leg and maybe tent or hover the left arm. Left hand down, right foot down. Switch sides, lift and hover the left leg. One long line, either tent or lift and hover the opposite arm. Both hands down, both feet down. Bend the knees, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Second side, bend the left knee. Send that right heel down. We'll kick the left leg up and back. Point the toe, heel to the hip, scorpion dog. Pushing the ground away. Continue to lift that left knee up. And then we'll rock forward, left knee to the back of the left wrist for your pigeon. Walk the hands out. So getting elongation along the side waist and then coming down. Slide the hands back. Again, we're gonna push up between the shoulder blades, hover that left leg, step back plank. Maybe wiggle the hips. Second side, hover the left leg, tent the right fingertips, or press and lift both arm and opposite leg. Switch sides. I need your steadiness. Reach to the crown of the head and the tailbone. Whoa, there I go. And then both hands down, both feet down. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. Travel the hands and feet together. Forward fold. Then I'm going to turn so that you can see. We're going to capture opposite elbow again. Let the head drop between the arms. Sit back into your chair and lift up. With the head framed, heavily weight the right foot and step the left foot back to a high lunge. We're going to tap the left knee and press back. Tap and press. 3 more. Shoulders shrugging up to the ears. 2. Last one. Heavily weight that right foot. Step the feet back together. Exhale, forward fold. Opposite arm on top. Sit back into your chair. Heavily weight the left foot. Right foot steps back, high lunge. Squaring the hips. We'll tap the knee, press back. 2, 3, 2 more. Last one. Heavily weight that left foot. Press yourself back, chair, exhale. Forward fold. Hands to the backs of the legs as you tuck the tailbone and roll up. Once you're up, shoulders down a couple of times. And forward. So we're going to add in full eagle. Sitting back into your chair. Open the arms wide. Right arm underneath the left. Heavily weight the left foot. Raise the right leg up, hugging the knee to the chest, and that might be enough for you. Or you're going to reach and cross the legs, squeezing the inner thighs. You can always just have a foot on the floor. Do squeeze and sit. Soft toes, squeeze the inner thighs. Sit back a little bit more. And we'll press ourselves up. Inhale, exhale, fold. Second side. Chair, arms wide, left under right. Heavily weight that right foot, draw the left knee up, squeeze the inner thighs as you wrap, and sit a little bit deeper. Finding a drishti, somewhere to look at that doesn't move. I made the mistake of looking at myself, so I got a little wobbly. Unlace the legs, big inhale, open. This time we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back, slide the one fist down, drop the head back. Feel the collarbone spread, chest lifts. Heel toe the feet as wide as the mat, let the toes come off of the mat, soften through the knees, And then with those fingers interlaced, forward fold. Feel free to sway or look left and right. Releasing the hands to the floor. We'll travel back to plank. Walk yourself back, big inhale, and then drop the knees down. Squeeze the upper arm bones towards the chest as you release the chest to the ground. Exhale down. Flip the feet over and slide the forearms forward, pressing into the ground to find your Sphinx pose. Actively roll the inner thighs towards one another and engage all the way, hugging the muscles to the bone. Squeeze the inner thighs so we're activating through the glute without tensing so much that you're finding compression in the low back. Keep reaching forward and up. We're going to point the right toes and then squeeze the heel toward the glute. Let the right foot come down. Squeeze the left heel towards the glute. And we'll go back and forth. Squeeze, point the foot, extend, squeeze, extend. So the pubic bone should be rather heavy here. Really hugging those muscles in, still paying attention to pressing the floor away. One more each side. And then from here, we're going to curl the toes under, press into the soles of the feet, so the thighs, the knees lift. Slide the hands back and just push yourself up into plank. Soften the knees, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Still pressing the floor away. Reach up, let the head hang, and we'll stay here for 3 breaths. Maybe an audible sigh. So from here, rather than bringing the feet to the hands, we're going to crawl the hands back to the feet for a forward fold at the back of your mat. Heavily weighting the upper body. Just let yourself hang for a moment. Sway the hips. And then we'll sit back into our chair pose again. Wrap the right arm underneath the left, crossing at elbows and wrists. We're going to heavily weight the left foot. Draw the right knee up, and then kick yourself out so we land in a high lunge. Take a moment to get set up in your high lunge. And then we're going to tip the upper body forward and lift the left leg up. So now there's a wall in front of me. I'm not touching it on purpose. Not trying to balance myself on the wall. If you have one and you'd like to, go ahead. So you can either stay there, or you're going to hug that left knee in and press yourself up. Cross the left leg over the right and sit down into your eagle. Lift and press yourself back to this eagle leg, Degasana, eagle arm. So you might get through 1, maybe 2. We're going for 5. Lots of activity in the legs. And I'm not looking at the camera because I will fall over. Working those inner thighs and articulating through the hip. I think this is the 5th one. And then from here, unwind the way that we came in, soften through that right knee, press yourself back. This is where it gets kind of fun and tricky. We're going to launch the right foot to meet the left at the back of the mat, and then unlace the arms and forward fold. Sit back into your chair. Do the second side.
Arms out. Right under left. Excuse me, left under right. Heavily weight the right foot. Hug the left knee in and up. Flex, kick out, and launch yourself forward. Take a moment in your high lunge. Let the shoulder blades slide down. And then we'll bring the upper body forward and press yourself up. If it takes a couple of hitch kicks to get there, that's fine. So you try and find your square hips. Hug the right heel towards the hip. Inhale. Lift up, maybe crossing and taking a little eagle. And press back. Like I said, going for 5. If that doesn't happen, that's fine. Two more. Inhale to reach, exhale. Draw everything in. You can probably start to feel that left hip firing. And after this last one, we'll press back, step back, and then launch yourself backwards to your squat at the back. Unlace the arms and forward fold. Walk yourself back out, downward facing dog. We're gonna move to pigeon again, raising the right leg, right knee to the back of the right wrist. So pigeon really isn't for you. You can bend that left knee, moving into pinwheel and come forward. But we're gonna stay in pigeon for 5 breaths. And maybe taking the arms out, extension through the chest, maybe bending the elbows and letting the forehead drop. We're going to calm the breath. Big breaths into the back side of the body. Last breath here. And a little fun transition, we're gonna walk the hands back, and rather than moving through like a vinyasa or something like that, we're just going to rock to the hips and extend both legs, moving into a wide leg forward fold. So if the knees are coming up, you can place something underneath the knees. You can always bend the elbows, drop the head down, and we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. See if the toes and the knees face the ceiling. You kind of walk the legs out or wiggle. We'll walk the hands back, come back forward. Transition through your pigeon. Engage in the back thigh to press yourself to plank. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. I'm going to repeat this on the second side. So I'm just going to curl myself around so that I'm still going to be facing you. But feel free if your back might be towards me for the second one, and that's okay. You know where you're going. So we'll deeply bend the left knee, raise the left leg up, and then bend the knee, hugging the heel to the hip as you come forward, landing in your pigeon pose. A little bit of movement in the hips is great. And then come forward again. Arms can be wide as we find our 5 breaths in pigeon. So sometimes I get asked whether it's important that the shin is parallel with the front of the mat. It just depends on your hip mobility. but we're trying to get there. It's more about having the right hip come forward and the left hip back, and really extending through that back leg. If the heel is tucked underneath the pubic bone, you're not really getting the same experience for the glute and for your hip. So see if you can slide that shin forward a little bit. And that's where the pinwheel option is a really good option. So maybe one more breath here. Your forward fold. Press yourself up. Roll the outside of the left hip. Moving into your wide leg forward fold. Couple more breaths. Walking yourself back. Roll back forward onto the left shin. Curl those left toes under to press yourself to plank. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. So very similarly, we're going to raise the right leg and move into a standing pose. Step the right foot to the inside of the right hand. We'll take that left foot and drop it back. Interlace or take the right hand to the left elbow, left hand to the right elbow, and we'll find that high lunge framing the face again. This time, rather than coming forward, we're going to squeeze the inner thighs together and then deep bend. Squeeze and lift, deep bend. Starting to slow down. Last one. Go ahead, come forward. This time we're going to take the hands to the inside of the right foot. Lizard lunge, where the big toe ball mound of the back foot. And you could stay here and just crawl the upper body forward, looking down the seam of the body. Or the left knee could come down in the forearms or the hands to the inside. We just want to keep weight on the inside of the left foot, actively drawing that knee towards the body. One more breath. Plant the hands back underneath the shoulders, and we'll again press back to our plank pose. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. Second side. Lift the left leg, heel to the hip, stepping the left foot to the inside the left hand. We're going to capture that opposite forearm on top. Right heel down and inhale, lift up. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Inhale, exhale, sink. Squeeze and sink. 3 more. Rolling the right hip forward, left hip back. 1 more after this. And then we'll let the arms come to the inside of that left foot. Roll to the big toe ball mound of the back foot. Keep the hip coming forward. Keep pressing the inside of the left leg to the inside of the left side waist and crawl forward. Drop the head. One more inhale and exhale. And then we'll walk the hands back, pushing up between the shoulder blades to float the left foot to meet the right plank. From here, drop the knees down, flip the feet over, and arrive on the belly. This time we're just going to bend the knees and make big circles at the feet in one direction. Releasing the low back. Switch directions. We're gonna move into arm pigeon from here. Take the right arm out to the side. We're gonna roll off to the right, stepping the left foot behind the extended right leg. Keep the chin tucked, maybe wanting to crawl the right hand up a little bit or back. Maybe even wanting to take the left hand to the left knee or hip and just rock. Staying for another 2 or 3 breaths. Back to center. Second side, left arm out to the side, slide the right hand in, and step the leg across the body. Finding the twist. Relax the left side body to the ground. Rolling to the belly. We'll press ourselves back to a comfortable child's pose. Maybe wiggling the hips, rocking on the forehead. Staying here for another 3 breaths. Arms can be nice and wide. And we'll walk the hands back and shift yourself back to all fours. So we'll be taking Gomukhasana. And if you know that you'll need a little lift in the hips, maybe bringing a block or your pillow behind you to sit on. So I'll bring a block just to show. I have my block kind of ready behind me. I'm going to slide my right knee forward and right to the middle between the legs. I'm just going to turn center. And then slide the left knee behind. So similar to our eagle legs, except this time I'm going to take the block and place the block underneath my sits bones. Inhale the arms up, and now we're just going to capture the right elbow with the left hand so that that right hand is nice and passive at the neck. And when you feel ready, maybe a little forward fold. Head nice and heavy, softening the inner thighs and the hips. So this does not need to be very acrobatic or confusing, or it doesn't need to look like you're all folded up. It doesn't actually have to look like Gomukhasana's cow face. It doesn't have to look exactly like that ear coming up in the head. But we're trying to get the shin bones to become parallel, relaxing the inner thighs, and just using the weight of the body. We still want to press the back of the head into the forearms so the chin isn't compressing the neck. And then go ahead and release the arms. Shift your weight back forward. We'll bring that right knee back underneath the right hip and just sway the hips back and forth. Taking your time between sides. The left knee will come forward between the hands. You'll slide that left shin out. Bring the right knee behind the left knee. And if you're using the block underneath the hip, capturing the left elbow, making adjustments as you need to. Maybe that right shin or left shin needs to come forward a little bit more. And then forward fold. Working on softening the legs and just using the gravity and weight of the body to open up. Pushing the back of the head into the forearm to maintain the motion of breath, the movement of breath evenly down the throat. Settle in for another 2 or 3 breaths. We'll unlace the arms, shift your weight back forward, unlace the legs, and then we'll move directly onto the back. So we'll take that block out of the way, swing the legs around, tuck the tailbone and roll down. Once you're down, go ahead, move through the hips, look right and left. And we're going to take 2 rounds of bridge. So lots of options if you've had it, if you're done, maybe placing the block just underneath the hips if you have a block underneath the hips, or staying like this. You could even, if you'd like just a little bit more motion, you could inhale and lift the arms above the head, lift the hips, exhale, roll down for rolling bridges. And that's how we're going to get into bridge, by tucking the tailbone under. Inhale to elongate through the side waist as you reach up, and exhale, press the hips up. So you're going to maintain that even hip, long side waist, perhaps snuggling the shoulders a little bit closer. And then notice again if the chin is cutting off the flow of air. Lift the chin and keep lifting, pressing the inner thighs towards one another. Finding a spot where you feel balanced, elongated. There shouldn't be any pinching in the low back. The glutes are slightly engaged, and the inner thighs are rolling towards one another. Come on up, down. Heel toe the feet as wide as the mat and let the knees come to touch. Bring the arms down. Maybe place the hands on the belly if you'd like. Last round. If full wheel is something that you normally practice and you feel safe doing it, go right ahead, or just inhale, start with sweeping the arms above the head. You can bring the arms back down, that interlace of the fingers, pressing down, lifting the hips, maybe kicking the right leg out for a moment, and then coming down, maybe kicking the left leg out, and down. And then on this exhale, come all the way back down. Feeling the coolness of the mat as it touches the back. We'll walk the feet out, wiggling the hips. Start to crawl the shoulders up and just place the hands on the belly. Starting to close the eyes. If you'd like to have a blanket, find a blanket. Starting to soften the features of the face. Starting to connect with the movement of the breath in the body. The hands are on the belly, a little bit easier to feel the press of the skin against each other. Hands, belly, belly, hands. Jaw coming away from the skull. Feeling the tensions in the body start to move towards the ground. And we'll bring in some visualization. Just start to see the breath starting at the tailbone. And as you inhale, drawing the breath up the spine to the crown of the head. Holding the breath at the crown of the head, and then exhale through the nose down the front side of the body, out through the tailbone again. Inhaling, sliding breath up the spine. Exhaling, pressing the breath out. Feeling the connection with the whole body, through the floor, into the ground. You can imagine that the body is being snuggled in the earth like a seed. Imagining the weight of the soil pressing down on the chest, on the belly, filling up the little nooks and crannies of the body in the armpits, behind the ears. So that the earth is conforming to you, giving you a nice big hug. Inhale, breath slides up the spine to the crown of the head. Exhale, front side of the body. And start to see the tailbone like the roots of a seed unfurling and reaching down towards the earth. Down through the layers of the soil, through the aquifer, through the dense layers of rock, into the tailbone as a connection to the middle of the earth. Start to feel the pulsation and beat of the planet as it reaches up through your roots. Maybe even a little warming sensation connecting to the tailbone. And as you're inhaling, now you're breathing up from the core of the earth in through the spine to the crown of the head. Exhaling, breathing out back down to the core of the earth. Feeling this connection with the physical body, with the subtle or spiritual body, with the energetic body in the earth. And the sensation of being grounded and cared for. And you're more than welcome to stay with this visualization and breathing for as long as you have. All slowly, as you start to inhale, start to bring that tendril or roots of the spine curling and furling back into the physical body. Feeling the breath press into the belly, maybe a little bit deeper, exhaling. And when you're ready, big inhale, reach the arms, maybe shuffle the hips. And on this exhale, we'll slide the heels towards the hips and hug the knees back into the chest. Another inhale to stretch. And exhale, hug. Rolling off onto one side, spend a breath. And then press yourself up to a seat. We'll roll the shoulders down and away. Back and forward. And just pause for a moment, allowing the practice to fill your body, fill the space around you. Feeling the inhale and exhale as you just sit with the motions that you created, with the sensations that popped through. Having a little bit deeper sense of connection with yourself and the earth. And we'll just spend a moment sending that sensation of connection off. Maybe someone that you care deeply about, maybe even someone that you haven't seen for a while. And we'll send them the mantra, may you be safe. May you feel connection. May you be healthy and at ease. And we'll expand this metta meditation to someone that you feel neutral about. So whomever just kind of pops through, someone that you see regularly but you don't really know. Sending them the sensation of safety. May you be healthy. May you feel connection and be at ease. I'm picking somebody to send this mantra off to that you're struggling with right now. Whether it's someone that you know intimately, maybe it's just a collective that you're having a little struggle with. May you be safe. May you feel connection. May you be healthy and at ease. And we'll start to visualize people in other places on the planet, places maybe you've been to or you haven't. Starting to pour this metta meditation all over the earth. And then outside the confines of our planet, reaching out into the universe. May you be safe. May you feel connection. May you be healthy and at ease. Then we'll draw that meditation back to ourselves, drawing the hands together at heart center, or you could place the hands over the heart, kind of snuggling it into your heart space. We'll take a deep inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye.